Welcome to Soul Journey. I'm back once again with Rita Gonzalez, Pastor Rita Gonzalez. Say hello to everybody.
Thank you, hello.
And today we've come together and we've looked over some things that we've been going through in the past. And a lot of the messages that she's been teaching has been about forgiveness and about knowing when it's time to more or less look up to God and realize that when you're looking up to God, when you come back down, things might not be exactly what they're supposed to be for you and everybody else, because God will speak to you individually.
Amen.
Now, the reason we're here today is because I'd like to talk to you about what Jesus sees ahead. And a lot of people are choosing this wide road that, it's destruction. And basically, it's all these people together sinning and continuing on with sin, where in this world today, sin is getting more and more out of hand. We have things going on around this world where people can't even go to church and be safe. People are losing their lives because they want to step into a building and pray to God and give God glory. And but that's risking their life. And today we live in a society where people are not running to the church when stuff like this happens, but they're just sitting back watching it over on the news. But you could tell me, Rita, did Jesus see all these things coming in the future?
Oh, yes. I think right now we are going through a crisis, actually, a crisis within the body of Christ. And this crisis, I think, is you see a lot of people leaving churches, even a lot of pastors just quitting, just dropping, throwing the towel right now. Is There's a lot of crisis right now, and what I really want to share with you and whoever is watching us is that maybe you already noticed, and a lot of people is noticing this too, that there's been a lot of division right now in every area, in every aspect, and also in the church. And I want to share that we as leaders, as pastors, we also go through crisis, and people don't realize. People that go to church and sit down and listen to the pastor or just enjoy the worship, but they don't realize that we also go through a lot of stuff. We go through, like I said, through crisis, and sometimes even you always think the possibility or not continuing, like not keeping, not persevering, and I want to share that this happened to me, and actually you don't realize what you did, brother. You don't even know how God used you at one point of my life, because there was this Saturday that we did reach out. We were doing the reaching out, and but like a couple days before, I invited the church and I told the church, we are gonna do this. We are gonna have this event, and I need you guys to volunteer. We need help. And nobody volunteered. Nobody um, said, I will. I will help. So that kind of put me down. That kind of discouraged me. That made me sad. I mean, there was so many feelings at the same time. I was angry. I was sad. I tried to understand them. I mean, I went through a lot of emotions, and at one point I said, you know what? I think this is it. I'm not gonna continue with this. I mean, people already been in church for years, and it seems like they don't want to get up, and I cannot do this anymore. And I even told the Lord, I'm tired. God, I feel tired. I'm tired. I feel tired. Physically, mentally, and in every way, I feel tired. And I said, okay, this is gonna be the last Saturday. After that, I'm gonna just send a text to everybody, and I'm gonna tell them, last Saturday was the last Saturday. I'm just, I'm gonna move on and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
I was determined. I was decided to just have that Saturday, the reaching out, to have the last Saturday. But that morning, you came here for the first time. I guess you were invited by someone, and you came. You were here during the day, and then you said, I want to come back at night for the service. So you came back at night. You recorded the service, and then at the end, we were having fellowship, right? And then you came and you sat down by me, next to me. And the first thing that you said to me, you said, keep doing what you're doing. And I knew it was God. I knew it was God because like I said, that was the last Saturday. I said, this is it. But nobody knew. I didn't tell anybody. It was just my decision. But then when you said that to me, keep doing what you're doing, and I knew it was him. Like, don't give up. Keep doing it. And then you said, well, I want to come back. I want to record the services. I want to do this. And then you volunteer, you yourself, to do a lot of things. And I said, oh my God, I wanted to, I really didn't want to, do this anymore. But since you came along, I feel that God said, I'm not finished. You may think that you're finished, but I am not. So after that, Brother Jake came, and then Brother Kyle, and Brother Johnny, and more people started coming, like volunteering to do the live worship. So I realized that God is always comes on time, and maybe I was on my last day, the last, I guess, tipping point at saying no more after 7 years that I've been doing this. But God would not let me, do my will, and I'm so glad. I'm so grateful to the Lord. And this is a message that I want to share with everybody, because maybe somebody that will be watching this clip, they're feeling the same way. It could be just a regular person that goes to church, and maybe you're thinking about, I'm not going to go to church anymore. I'm bored. I'm tired. I don't like it. To me, it's pointless. I don't see the point of going to church. And even a pastor, a leader that is watching this and say, maybe this person is thinking the same thing that I was thinking. I'm tired. I don't see no fruit. I don't see nothing. But God always have a better plan. God sees everything. God sees what's going to be in the future. And he already has the people to help you. He already has the people that is going to be in tomorrow, maybe next week, next year. He already has everything set up. But we don't realize that.
Don't realize it.
We don't realize. We think that we are alone. We think that we are doing everything on our own, and that God is, sometimes he's not in the game, but he's always. And this is, church, like he told me. Because at one point, brother, I told him, well, Lord, what's the point of having this church? I know that most of the people, they go also to other churches, not just this one. They go from this to another one. So what's the point of, having this church? And then the Lord spoke to me and said, but this is my church. This is my church. So every time that I want to get away, every time that I just want to say, I'm done, he always comes with something else. He always answers. He always responds. And I'm just amazed. I'm just so grateful that he didn't let me do my will. Because it's dangerous, when we start doing our will and saying, oh, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore, without asking God, without consulting the Lord. And we make so many mistakes when we don't consult him. In other words, like I was gonna do it on my own. I was gonna end this. And God said, no, you're not. And he sent you to tell me that.
Yeah.
And you didn't know
I didn't know.
that God was
God was
using
using me.
you to tell me, keep doing what you're doing.
You know, I've noticed something that when people are going through life, say for instance, I'm going through the mountains and I'm taking a wide turn. You know, I'm going a little fast, and I see a sign that says, "Be careful, because there could be rocks falling." In other words, sometimes the Lord will tell us there's things ahead
Right.
that are going to come down. You don't know when, you don't know where, but be careful. Keep your eyes open, because you know God doesn't want nobody to be hurt. And what hurts God is when people don't pay attention to signs. They think they got the whole future in their hand. They think they can take this life and the money and the riches and the properties and everything with them everywhere they go, but they don't realize that at the end of this world, they can't really take anything with them
Right.
except what they've put into their life walking with God. That's the only thing you can take, is what you've done for the Lord.
Right.
And we can say,
Yes.
and be honest with you, you know, we can say we're Christians, but we're really 50%, because God knows the other side too.
Yes.
He knows if you're a true Christian, you would never doubt. He knows that you would. He knows that you would want to give up. He knows that you would want to not see the future. He knows that you would not. You would not be willing to take that extra breath and say, "Lord, maybe I just need a timeout." That doesn't mean you're not a Christian. That means you're just 50% of what God wants you to be.
Right.
Because I think that if everybody that's a Christian would give 100%, we'd live in a perfect world. But because half the people in this world aren't giving as Christians 100%, what's happening to the people that are out there trying to come to the Lord? If we give up, they're going to even be left behind, even
Right.
in worse matters.
Right.
So let's take, for instance, you can look at everything around you in a city and see there's 1,000 churches, and every one of them is different. But if you ever go up to, like, say, the mountains, and you look at it and you say, this is going to be like this forever, beautiful. We have to look at ourselves the same way. We're going to be like this forever with God, because God is a forever God.
Amen.
He sees what's ahead of us, but he sees there was an end to what's behind us. You preached last week about forgiveness. You really did touch my soul too,
Amen.
because I've been struggling with some issues about, you know, some people that backstabbed me at work, and they caused me to lose my job, and they still want to live a lie, and I still want to blame them for, you know, and get on them because they shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. And but then I have to go back and say, I should forgive them. Why? Because God knows my future.
Yes.
God knows that my future is more important than what they've done to me. And I believe the same thing with you. You've been through a lot. You get hurt a lot. You've gone through it. And it meant a lot for you to see people happy and jumping for joy, especially when you have a church. The main focus is being happy. And a lot of people out there in this world right now are happy. They're not jumping for joy in church. If anything, they're jumping out. Like she said, they're leaving. They're leaving church. And that hurts, you know, because as a pastor, you keep reaching down for more strength. You keep reaching for more strength. And then you feel like, you know, if Jesus was sitting next to a well and he wanted some water, you can't even pull no water out. And if that's the case, why would Jesus be by the well? Well, God is a nourishing God. And he nourishes your body. He nourishes your mind and your spirit. He's the main vitamin to keep us going.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, if we want to rely on ourselves for our own energy and strength, we can't make it on our own. We're just going around the corner waiting for the rocks to fall on us. And the churches are falling apart. And it's not because they want to, but it's because they're scared. You know, people are scared to go to church. And then all these mass murders going on around the world. People are blowing themselves up in a peaceful building where people can't even have peace no more in church. You know, how many pastors do I know that will sit down and talk to me? Not many. Because the truth is everybody's trying to get theirs before Jesus comes. But Jesus has already gave it to us already, but it's in the future. So there's no sense for trying to go out and grab it.
Right.
Like, oh, I want to own a house. I want this. I want a higher paying job. Gee, I wish I had a better car. Gee, I wish I had a more beautiful wife than the one I got. People are getting too, they're looking around at everything too much, and they're forgetting what God has for them in the future. Where are we going down the road together someday? Someday we don't know where we're going to be, because Jesus said already, when I come, one's going to be on the house and one's going to be in the house. One's going to be out in the field. The other one's going to be doing something else. So depending on where your heart is, that's where God's going to find you. If you're going to be looking for him, he's going to know you're looking.
Right.
In bad circumstances, still keep looking.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Just keep looking.
Yes, and I just want to, I guess, end this just like encouraging people, right? Not giving up, because God always has a better plan, and he knows what he's doing. And we always forget that he knows what he's doing, and that he's always working. He's always working, even when we don't see it, even when we don't feel it. He's always working, and I'm just a living proof of that. I mean, you guys are here already, and I was about to leave everything, and look what God keeps doing. So this is a message for somebody that is about to give up on the church, to give up on leadership, to give up on life. Because maybe somebody's gonna watch that they're tired of living and saying my life is pointless. I don't see the meaning of my life. I feel rejected. I feel abandoned. But let me tell you that the one that will never leave you, never forsake you, is Jesus. And as far as Jesus is with you, you have everything. And there's hope. There's hope in God. There's hope in Jesus, because you don't have no idea what he's got ahead for you. He's got amazing things, and that's what I want to share today, because he has shown me that he had. So I hope that you get blessed by this message, and just keep it up. Keep persevering. Keep going.
Yes, keep going, because today I went up to the mountains, and I was looking up at the mountains, and I was saying, look at how beautiful everything that God has made. And I looked up at these rocks, and I said to myself, I wonder if Jesus is up there looking down at me right now. What would he say? What would you say, Lord? I felt this voice tell me, look around you. Look around you. I'm in everything. But the most important thing is that I'm in you. And when he sees everything he's created, all the angels rejoiced. They were happy to see this earth. It was, look at what God has done. And when one person comes to Jesus Christ and gives their life back to him, the angels rejoice. In other words, they're all looking, they're all watching, because they're in their invisible presence, but they're there. And the thing is that if we lose focus on everything that God has created, and if we can't look up to God on that mountain, and we don't have nothing to rejoice about, that means we're walking away from God. But remember, the angels rejoice when one sinner comes back to the Lord. They are happy. We don't see that happening today in this church today, this walk in God. We don't see people coming to the Lord like they should. But it's really up to them and how they want to see how God created everything. Because God can recreate you. He can do anything he wants with you.
Restore you.
The blessings come from when you look. Look up. Like he says, look up. Here I come. I'm going to come. And be prepared. I look at what's ahead, and that is a new earth, a new heaven. But of course, I realize that God has to work it out from the inside first, inside of me, and show me which direction to go. Whether it's to go past Rita and help her, that's where the Lord wants me to be. That's where I'll be. But I know whenever I want to go be alone and get my solitude together with Jesus Christ, I know he's there. And I know he's saying, take a look around. I've made everything beautiful, and I'm going to make it again. And it's all going to be good, and you're going to have part of it.
Amen.
But I have to keep focusing on his future. If I look around me right now in this world spinning out of control, spinning in madness, spinning in greed, spinning in selfishness. I mean, everybody's fighting over land and they're paying for high prices for something that they didn't even create. They didn't even make it, and they're going to put a claim on it and say it's theirs. It's not theirs. All of it belongs to God. Like in the flood, he destroyed it, and he said he's going to bring fire again. But you know, before that fire comes, you got a choice. Give your life to Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And be blessed. You know, and being blessed means being happy, rejoice. Just like the angels rejoice. They're happy to see you praying. They're happy to see you moving another step, getting up to do it one more day. So this is Soul Journey. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. Just be
Okay.
blessed and don't give up.
This
Thank
is
you.
Michael Franco's Soul Journey, and I'll tell you what, this is Rita, Pastor Gonzalez.
Amen.
Anytime you ever want to give us a message or something and you want to come down to the church, just let us know. Can you please tell them where the church is?
It's 1451 Florence Street in Aurora, and it's close to Havana. 1451 Florence.
Okay. We'll see you next time,
See
you
you
guys.
next time.
Remember, keep your eyes on Jesus.
Thank you.